It's very interesting to me that everybody dance to my music in different ways, and I I see always that it creates some kind of tension between people because some people believe that you know kizomba has to be danced in the exact way that they think is the right one, and most of the time it's funny that the way that they think is the right one is already an evolution of a version from the 90s, and itself it didn't come from nowhere. It is something that is a fusion of musically from a lot of genres, and also in terms of dancing, it came from something like the people invent dance, they learn something and then they turn it into something else. This is the evolution of art, right? And so I still didn't do my whole show about the the evolution between and the movement between compa, zouk, kizomba, morna, coladera, passada, etc. And the the mistake that people are doing between the the dance on one side and the music on one side, because both are sometimes are called the same thing, but sometimes the dance that go with the music, sometimes there's a lot of different steps. And in some dances like hip hop for example, most of the steps have names because somebody named them, like the running man, the crunch, the footstep, the this, the that. A lot of people, when they invent a dance, they name it. And sometimes you have some dance that are made to dance, like Vogue for example. It's you dance it with X amount, you see and it comes with a setting, etc. And then some people subvert that and turn it into something else to dance on something else. And then if enough people follow you in your new version of a dance, you give it a name and that's a new genre. And this is just the evolution of art. And but it's funny to me because every time somebody is dancing on one of my songs, then you have a group of people that appreciate the art, and then you always have all the enemies of the progress who come when nobody asks them nothing to say, yo, this is not the way you dance X. And it's funny because sometimes somebody will say, this is not the way you dance kizomba on a song that me, when I produced it, I considered it zouk R&B. And then you hear them having debates about kizomba when me personally, who did the song, I don't even call it kizomba. So that's funny to me. And then when people are dancing compa as well, you have sometimes people who come and say, no, this is kizomba. And actually, no. Sometimes it's compa who was before everybody. And the steps, a lot of people, and the people who dance compa and zouk and kizomba and passada and tarashinha and samba, sometimes they will, they will try step from one dance to another because this is what artists do. They are free, and because we are free to try stuff, the public decide what they like or not. But the point is not to sound like everybody or to look like everybody. At a point when you become you have enough experience with the basic dance moves that you learned, then you can now personalize your art. This is what art is. And depending on where you are in the world, the basic dance move of something that you call the same thing can be so different because it depends who taught you. And if you are in Russia, you never been to Angola, you never been to Portugal ever, but you learn to dance kizomba in St. Petersburg or in Moscow, or if you're in Ukraine and you learn to dance kizomba in Odessa, maybe what you call kizomba is called urban kiz in Paris. But for you, out there far, 8,000 kilometers away, yeah, that's all you know. So, and because there's no book and there's nobody, I mean, there's a lot of people explaining stuff, but there's no, us as people, we kind of don't categorize genres and we just say, oh, this is the way it should be done and everything else is fucked up. Where no, you know, every genre is the creation of a subgenre. It's normal. The music of Malcolm Beats is not the same as the music from Kaysha. It's not the same as the music from Mark G. It's not the same as the music from Aldo Music. Even if we all are inspired by something at a point, or maybe we inspired each other, and then at a point you create your own style. And if you have, I don't know, 10 people who want to really copy your style, then it becomes a genre because there's a group that does this music. And then when it becomes big, let's say, yeah, you call it something and people follow. And so that's really interesting in the evolution of art, how every time you talk to people who call themselves the purists, you can debunk whatever they say easily. When you just go look in the past, you realize that where they come from, usually there was something before that they came from. And most of the time, when they were doing their thing 20 or 30 years ago, the people before them were treating them the same way as they're treating people now. They were telling them, no, this is not the way you dance salsa, or this is not the way you do this. And you know, a lot of people, they discover dance or music or a way to make a beat on YouTube, and they become a teacher just because they do. Somebody tell them, hey, show me how to do it, and there you go. And it's crazy how you have so many people who are, instead of promoting whatever they want to call their own music, they waste a lot of time talking down on everybody else. It's interesting. What up, Mastermind? I hope you're fine. We all just need to unite. I mean, we don't have to, but I believe that you can like something and respect the rest, even if you don't understand what they do, or if it doesn't create anything to you. Like death metal from Norway or Sweden is noise to me, but I respect the fact that other people are loving it. And yeah, they love it, they enjoy, they are in their own thing. And hey, if they have people, if there's a market for it, yeah, you know, more power to you. So if I was more into normal rock and roll or pop Euro rock like Def Leppard, I would not listen to what they do, but I would let them be. I would not go to every video they do to tell them this is not the real rock and roll. Like, who sent you? Like, you don't have nothing else to do? You see what I mean? And but yeah, if everybody understood that we have the right to all be different from each other and still support each other, yeah, the movement would be huge, like you say. You're trying to be the glue? Good luck, I tried that. The robotic dancing is not kizomba at all. Music shall be danced with souls, not by counting steps. But you see, Master Electronic, this is what I'm talking about. You are not a judge. You are not supposed to be judging what other people do. When I was in Ukraine, I was looking at them dancing. Yeah, I didn't understand nothing about their steps. but there was 1,000 people doing this, and everybody seemed happy. And you might not see the soul to them, but to me, I can see that if all these people, to them, this is what they call kizomba, and they love it. And you know, when I went to Brazil in 2007, I arrived in Brazil, and they tell me, we want to take you to a class of Zouk. I was like, a class of Zouk? Yeah, you know, we do Zouk classes, and here in Brazil, Zouk is huge. Every city has a class of Zouk, a school of Zouk. And I was like, what? In the West Indies, there's no class of Zouk. In Paris, there's no Zouk school, like, or in the dance schools, there's no Zouk class. How you guys have this and we don't? And we just had learned to dance Zouk in the clubs. And so I was in Brasilia, and so they take me to the class. And in the beginning of the class, they were explaining who is Kassav, what did they do, how they invented Zouk, how they are the base of the music. And then they explained how the evolution of the music from Jean-Michel Rotin. Then they explained Kaysha. They were explaining my biography. So it was moving for me in 2007, being in Brazil, and having people do a class about me. And then they were, okay, let us explain to you the basis of Zouk. And they put a kizomba song. So me, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's not Zouk. But they play some kizomba. So I'm like, okay. And then they start dancing lambada. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, what? What's going on here? And in reality, let me go to my. I'm gonna see if I can find the footage of that moment, because why is my thing not working now? What's wrong with my? Okay. And you see, when I look at them, I was like, what the hell are these people doing? They are dancing lambada on kizomba and on a lot of other things, but they call it Zouk. And I'm like, yo, wait, so this is what you call Zouk here? And they're like, yeah, listen, this is Zouk, da 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 da. Everybody loves Zouk here. There's a big class that like, and there was really like. And I remember when I arrived to São Paulo to do my show, the person who organized my show was saying that he waited for this day 10 years in his life since he started the Zouk class, etc. And the guy was crying because I was there. He was like, we have a legend of Zouk. And me, I was like, a legend of Zouk? I'm from Congo. I'm imported in thing. I'm just a guy. I just hacked in. I don't even call what I do Zouk. I took a little bit from everything and I just do my thing, and I'm not trying to fit in something. I'm just trying to do something. But for them, all this kizomba, Zouk, compa, all this was Zouk, and it was dance lamba Zouk.